Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 3 of our homework review on spheres. Here we have a question where we had to really kind of think things through on this one. A pill has the shape of a cylinder with a hemisphere at each end. The height of the cylindrical portion is 12 millimeters and the overall height is 18 millimeters. Find the volume of the pill in cubic millimeters, round to the nearest cubic millimeter. So here's the thing. One of the things about spheres, we mentioned before in previous times, is that the fact that we need a radius. And right now we have heights, but no radius though. Because in this case, the volume of the sphere, okay, our volume will be 4/3 pi r cubed. And the volume of the cylinder is equal to pi r squared times height. And both of these formulas require a radius. But let's take a look at this though. We know that the full height of the figure is 18 and the height of the cylinder is 12. That would mean that this measurement hemisphere and this hemisphere make up a measure of 6 and there's this equal, both have a measure of 3 millimeters. So this actually will be our radius for not only our hemispheres, but also for our cylinders. Okay, so we're going to do now, so on the volume of the total figure, we're going to do, now let's say two hemispheres. Well, two hemispheres of the same shape will make up one sphere. And so therefore, we're going to use our sphere formula. So we're going to do 4/3 pi times 3 cubed, and then the volume of the cylinder is going to be pi times 3 squared, and the cylinder has a height of 12. All right, so we want to do is we want to find the total volume here, and so here 4/3 times, well, 3 to the third power is 27. All right, and times 4/3, well, let's see now. I'm going to do everything in terms of pi, so we'll bring up the calculator anyway. So we have 4/3, 4 divided by 3, and then we're going to multiply that by 3 to the third. 3 raised to the third. And we get a total of 36. So our volume of the spheres will be 36 pi. All right. Now for the volume of the cylinder. So volume of the cylinder, again, we'll do terms of pi and then we'll combine them together and do that. So we're going to now take 3 squared times 12. So 3 squared times 12. And that'll give us 108 pi. So now we have this to be 108 pi. Therefore, the total volume is going to be total volume, actually V total, okay, will be equal to 36 pi plus 108 pi, which gives us a total of, in this case, 108 pi, will give us a total of 144 pi. So 144 pi, all right, and so now but it says to the nearest cubic millimeter, so we're going to take our calculators. And just in case I add wrong, because it happens, so I'll do 36 pi plus 108 pi. All right. Oop, not E. Okay. Pi. Okay. All right. So that'll be, in this case, we get round to nearest cubic millimeter is 352.389. So 382.3, so I guess 382, just double check, make sure, 352. So we'll have, in this case, 352 cubic millimeters. And that's going to be your answer for the first part. Okay. Sorry, I crammed it in there. It's not a lot of space there though. But we find each of the volumes separately. I did them in terms of pi, so I didn't have to write all those decimals. And so we found the volume of the sphere to be 36 pi, and by sphere, it's the two hemispheres put together. Okay, because basically it's the top half and the bottom half put together make a whole sphere. And just in case you were sure, like, hey, this top part here and this bottom part here form together a whole sphere, which we found to be 36 pi. And then the cylinder part, this cylinder part here, that volume came out to be 108 pi. And together was 144 pi, which round to nearest nearest tenth. Oh, sorry, actually, nearest cubic millimeter was 352 millimeters cubed. Okay, so part B, if the pill is to contain 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, okay, then how much vitamin C does a pill contain per cubic millimeter? Well, we would then just take our value here. So for the part B, we have 1,000 milligrams divide that by, in this case, so it says here, how much vitamin C contained per cubic millimeter? Well, we have 352 cubic millimeters. And so now we'll take 1,000 divided by 352. Okay, so now we have 1,000 divided by, 452. Oh, sorry. So I gotta go back and change that. Not 352, 452. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. 452. See, I make mistakes. Okay, 452. All right. Ooh, good thing the calculator had the information. All right, so 452. So 452. All right, and so we get, in this case, to nearest tenth, 2.2 milligrams per cubic millimeter. Now, if we were to do the same thing here and use the original value, divide by, and then instead of using the 452, we instead use the value we found previously here, 452.38, and use that instead, we would still get 2.21, and still it's different. It's very close to each other. So to the nearest tenth of a millimeter, we would have in this case 2.2. So the answer is 2.2 milligrams per cubic millimeter. Okay. Round to the nearest tenth of a cubic millimeter. Cubic millimeter, that should be milligram actually. See, how much vitamin C is per cubic millimeter? Nearest tenth. I think it should be milligram. So I'll double check that later on though. Because in this case, you're looking for per cubic millimeter. That'd be per 1 cubic millimeter. So I think that should be per round to the nearest tenth of a round to the nearest tenth of a cubic millimeter. Unless of course they mean, it says here, if the pill contains, how much vitamin C does the pill contain per cubic millimeter? Yeah, that's 2.2 milligrams per cubic millimeter. Now, round to the nearest tenth of a cubic millimeter. Well, I'm not sure what they mean by that though. All right, so part C, another pill that is entirely spherical has a diameter of 10 millimeters and contains 1.5 milligrams of vitamin C per cubic millimeter. How much less vitamin C does this second pill contain rounded to the nearest milligram than the one pictured? Okay, so it says here, so we have a spherical pill with diameter of 10 millimeters. Therefore, in this case, if our diameter is equal to 10, then our radius is equal to 5. All right, and so it has 1.5 milligrams of vitamin C per cubic millimeter. So we need to find the cubic millimeter and then multiply by 1.5. So then we compare, in this case, the difference. So we have 4/3. So volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi times 5 to the third power. Okay, and so let's find that. So we have 4/3 pi times 5 to the third power. And we get, in this case, 523.598. Okay, so about 520, so let's say about 523.6. about 523.6 cubic millimeters. And we'll multiply that by 1.5. Okay, so we'll go to calculator, multiply that by 1.5. So let's do two ways, okay? So we'll do multiply 523.6 times 1.5, because it's 1.5 milligrams of vitamin C per cubic millimeter, and we have 785.4. So 785.4 milligrams of vitamin C. All right, now let's see in this case, what if we use the original number, okay? So instead, we would do 1.5, but now we're going to multiply by our value here, and enter. 785 point, again, we round off, we're still going to get 585.4. So we are good with this number, okay? So in this case, it says, how much less vitamin C does the second pill contain round to the nearest milligram than the one pictured? So we would take 1,000 minus 785.4, and we're going to get a value of, here's 0.6, that's going to be a 4, that's going to be a 1, and that's going to be a 2. Okay? All right? And so we have in this case, round to nearest milligram, rounds to 215 milligrams difference. Okay? All right, so we have in this case, altogether, this is a pretty serious problem. We had to figure out what the radius was by just taking the difference of the total height from the difference from the height of the cylinder, because that total height would now become our total diameter for our sphere, or the two hemispheres. Therefore, half of that would be the radius, which we found to be 3. And so now from there, we're able to figure out the volume of the sphere to be 36 pi, the volume of the cylinder to be 108 pi, total volume 144 pi, which became out to 452 cubic millimeters. And so that would be the total volume, 452. I apologize for writing out the wrong number for it. And then from there, we would divide 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C in this pill, divide by 452 to figure out how many milligrams per cubic millimeter. And in this case, 2.2 milligrams, 2.2 milligrams per cubic millimeter. Now, we could have done in this case was, we know that the second pill, which is sphere, which is 1.5 milligrams per cubic millimeter, we could have just taken that difference of 0.7 and then multiplied by the, figure out in this case, multiply by the volume of the sphere. But in this case, it's much easier to find the volume of the sphere, and then from there multiply by 1.5 to figure total amount of vitamin C in the second pill, and then take our difference. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this was helpful. I apologize for the small error I made before, but we fixed it. Thank goodness. Speak of the calculator. Just leave. I would love for you guys to leave a question or comments in the comment section below. Just some feedback about how this video was helpful or not helpful, or things I can change. I appreciate you guys watching, and if you found this helpful at all, please leave a like for the video. All right, subscribe to the channel to know when new videos are going to be added. And please, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourselves. Be safe at this time, and I'll see you in the next video.